In these next problems, we're going to review how to factor. So make sure you start off by doing your warm-up first. And now we're going to start by finding each product. So remember, we can do this by remembering something called FOIL. So first, outer, inner, last, and then combining like terms. Now this next problem, everyone always messes up. So when they see the square, they just say, oh, maybe this is n squared plus 3 squared. That's not the case. For this, n plus 3 squared is n plus 3 times itself. So n plus 3 times n plus 3. Now FOIL, so first, outer, inner, last, combine like terms. So last year, this was a big deal where we called this don't do the baby in the trash can problem. So this baby's about to say his first words, and the mom's like, oh my God, he's about to say them. And he says a plus b squared is a squared plus b squared. So he did that no where he just distributed. So really, remember, a plus b squared is really a plus b times a plus b. So do not forget this. Now we get into factoring. So remember, for factoring, we say what multiplies to c and adds to b. So what multiplies to 10 and adds to 7? Well, 2 and 5. So I'm going to write this as a plus 2, a plus 5. In my next problem, what multiplies to 12 and adds to negative 7? Well, think about 12. 2 and 6 maybe? No. What about 3 and 4? Oh yeah, if they both add to negative 7, then they're both negative. So x minus 4, x minus 3, that'll add to negative 7 and multiply to a positive. Sometimes you find problems where a, this number in front, is not 1. So in these cases, let's try to take out the GCF first. So does 3 go into all these numbers? Yes, so let's take it out. So I divide everything by a 3. Now a lot of people forget to leave this 3 here when they go and factor the rest. So remember to leave this 3 out front right here where it is. What multiplies to negative 10 and adds to negative 3? That's going to be a negative 5 and a positive 2. My next problem, I notice a isn't 1, so let's see if I can factor out a 5 from everything. And luckily I can, so I can say 5 times p squared minus 14p plus 48. And now I'll try to figure out the rest, leaving that 5 in front. What multiplies to 48 and adds to negative 14? P minus 6 and p minus 8. My next problem, a is already 1 again, so I can just say, well, what multiplies to 30 and adds to positive 7? In this case, it's positive 10 and negative 3. My next one, a isn't 1, so let's hope maybe a goes into those. Luckily, it does. And now I'll factor. Multiplies to negative 63, adds to negative 2. That's going to be a b minus 9 and a b plus 7. Now we get to everyone's favorite problems where it gets a little bit trickier. I can try to factor out a 3 in this first problem, but notice it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do, my first step, is to multiply a times c. So 3 times negative 12 gives me a negative 36. And now find factors of this that add to b. So what times what gives me b? Oh, well, 9 times negative 4 adds to b and gives me negative 36. Next up, we're going to split the middle term. So, using these two numbers, I'm going to rewrite this negative 5m using those two numbers. So 3m squared plus 9m minus 4m equals minus 12. You'll notice this 9m minus 4m, if I just combine like terms, I'd be back to where I started, which is exactly what I want. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is regroup. So, I'm going to try to take out the GCF of these and take out the GCF of these. The GCF of 3m squared and 9m is 3m. So I'm going to take out a 3m and write the rest as m plus 3. Then I'm going to take out a negative 4 from the other two, and I end up with m plus 3. Now I'm going to take out the GCF one more time. What do these have common? They have in common an m plus 3. So I'm left with 3m minus 4. And here's my final answer. Let's try that again. Multiply a and c. I get 168. Now what multiplies to 168 and adds to 34? If I play around, eventually I'll find 6 and 28. Now I'm going to rewrite this term using these two terms. Now regroup twice. Take out the GCF, which is b for these first two, and which looks like a 4 for the second two. You know you've done it right when the things in parentheses are the same, because now when I take out the GCF, I just take out the parentheses for each of them. All right, let's try that again. So I'm going to multiply a and c, and I get negative 126. Now what adds to negative 11 and multiplies to negative 126? That's going to be negative 18 and 7. So now I'm going to split my middle term up. I'm going to regroup. And there's my answer. Now this next one looks a little bit odd because there's no 3 terms, there's only 1. So let's first try to take out the GCF. That's always our first try. Notice they both have an n in common, so I can take out an n. And this is actually the best I can do, so this problem was a little bit simpler. Now I'm going to leave number 13 to you because it's the same as the others, so make sure you check your answers in the notes. And let's just try this last one because this one's a little bit different. So, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave both of these to you. How about that? All right. Have a good day.